Hello and welcome to Prime at 9. I'm Esther. These are the headlines. The World Health Organization has launched an expert group that will study the origins of new pathogens, including SARS-CoV-2, the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. The special investigation team probing the Lakhimpur Kheri incident on Thursday reached the site along with security forces. Delhi Pollution Control Committee on Wednesday issued an order prohibiting people from immersing idols after Durga Puja at public places in order to curb water pollution. As per the order, idol immersion at public places can attract a fine of Rs 50,000. The Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, on Thursday welcomed the extension of the Border Security Forces operational jurisdiction in coordination with the state police and said that the move will serve as a deterrent for illegal infiltration. Now for the news in details. The World Health Organization has launched an expert group that will study the origins of new pathogens, including SARS-CoV-2, the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. The WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus announced the news during his press briefing from Geneva following a public call for experts. The proposed members of the WHO Scientific Advisory Group for the Origins of Novel Pathogens were selected for their expertise in areas such as epidemiology, animal health, clinical medicine, virology and genomics. The 26 experts were selected from over 700 applications and were chosen for their world-class expertise and experience in a range of disciplines as well as their geographic and gender diversity. The special investigation team probing the Lakhimpur Kheri incident on Thursday reached the site along with security forces. A total of 8 people, including 3 farmers, had died in the violence in the Lakhimpur Kheri district on October 3rd. A Congress delegation on Wednesday submitted a memorandum to President Ramnath Kovind demanding an independent judicial investigation by a commission comprising of 2 sitting judges of the Supreme Court of India of the High Court. Delhi Pollution Control Committee on Wednesday issued an order prohibiting people from immersing idols after Durga Puja at public places in order to curb water pollution. As per the order, idol immersion at public places can attract a fine of Rs 50,000. Has been banned at public places including the Yamuna River or any other water body, ponds or ghats. The Delhi pollution body directed the general public, residents' welfare associations and puja samitis that the idol immersion ritual may be performed within the home premises in a bucket or a container. It further stated that the worship material like flowers, decorating material made of paper and others should be removed before immersion of idols and may be collected separately for disposal manner or in an environmental safe handing over to the door-to-door waste collection vehicle. The committee also directed municipal authorities and Delhi police to ensure strict checks on the entry of vehicles or goods carriers entering into the national capital carrying prohibited idols as its cargo. The Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, on Thursday welcomed the extension of the Border Security Forces operational jurisdiction in coordination with the state police and said that the move will serve as a deterrent for illegal infiltration. Assam welcomes the extension of BSF's operational jurisdiction, the Chief Minister said. In coordination with the state police, this move will serve as a strong deterrent for defeating cross-border smuggling and illegal infiltration, and it strengthens national security and national interests, said the Chief Minister. Notably, in a move aimed at maintaining zero tolerance against terrorism and cross-border crimes, the Centre on Wednesday empowered the Border Security Force to conduct searches, arrest suspects, and make seizures up to an area of 50 kilometers inside Indian territory from international border along India-Pakistan and India-Bangladesh borders. The Noklak Police, in collaboration with the Medical Department, SMO Noklak Women Organization, and Taste of Noklak Society, held 2 sessions of training today at King New Village, Noklak District. An awareness on COVID-19, career guidance, vocational training, scientific farming, value addition and food processing trainings were held in the first session of the program. Later, in the second session, an awareness on menstrual hygiene, distribution of iron tablets, folic acid, calcium, women's rights awareness, cybercrime, SHG formation and awareness on vocational training were given to women, and sanitary napkins were also distributed in the program. The Nagaland State Rural Livelihood Mission conducted a 2-day refresher training program for Bank Saki or customer relationship managers from October 12th to the 13th at Mount Tabor Retreat Center. This program is part of the celebration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Bank Saki ekdana tuida boy lok paisen. To itu them she pushi paisen, and so I was so encouraged when I see our sisters, our mother, our wife sitting in the bank and helping our community. Itu inaga korado, I'm sure apni kabi itu kuribu parado apni kan naga mundi kushikta thagibo. Ubula na kushikta asiduna ini busidi bui thaga parado. We are doing something which is really helping our community. To our bank laga system laga, our bank di jaigina, office di jaigina, kam puli laga. Iti town di dakakan kau ni it's a very difficult job as there. Town di dakakan bi jaigina bank di bank laga jaigina, utau ko puli bank baraki laga offer kuriya se. Taga laga untuk rasta alak thaga gabi town di dakakan gabi najani kina asido. Libe ajidu amakan sabido trained. You all are properly now trained. You are armed with all the knowledge. What you can do to the community, what you can do in the bank, in the community help asido. So itu nishna puri pari laga opportunity pai bahado ekdam kushi date.
US President Joe Biden on Thursday exempted the former Taliban regime's civil servants from the terror-related bans and said that they will be allowed to travel to the US. It further added that those civil servants did humanitarian actions and continue to do so with the International Security Assistance Forces and with the new Afghan government established in 2001, reported Kama Press. The memorandum for the administration was obtained by Fox News. It said that the civil servants were employed under duress or other situation of hardships and added that they mitigated repressive actions by the Taliban in the late 90s. The memorandum also stated that the individuals will not be exempted from their screening, their background before the Taliban's first regime, nor will they be exempted from the current screening and vetting required for those who enter the US, reported Kama Press. The Bombay High Court on Thursday rejected the plea by Shiv Sena leader and former MP Anand Rao Atsul challenging the case registered against him by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with an alleged 980 crore rupee fraud at City Cooperative Bank. Earlier in September, the ED had conducted raids at Atsul's residence. The leader was a member of the 16 Lok Sabha of India and represented the Amravati constituency of Maharashtra. Women will be able to join India's premier tri-service pre-commissioning training institute, the National Defence Academy, from next year, said Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Thursday. The Defence Minister said that at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization International webinar on the role of women in the armed forces. I'm happy to share with you that from next year, women will be able to join the premier tri-service pre-commissioning training institute, the National Defence Academy. In his address, he said Rajnath. During the address as well, the Defence Minister added that the induction of women in military police has commenced last year, marking a major milestone wherein women are inducted in the rank and file of Army. The international webinar in video conferencing mode is being hosted by the Ministry of Defence. Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Thursday laid the foundation stone of the National Forensic Sciences University in Goa's Dharbandora. Speaking at the event, Shah remembered former Goa Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar and said that he gave the state its identity. Shah said that the former Goa CM Manohar Parrikar gave the state its identity, and he further stated that the former Defence Minister will also be remembered by providing one rank, one pension to all three armies irrespective of all odds, and will also be remembered for the first surgical strike after the terrorist attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch, India. And they will always be remembered, Prime Minister Modi and Parrikar, for this, he said. Lauding the state government, the Union Home Minister said the Chief Minister Pramod Sawant is following the path of Parrikar for the development of the state.
आज मेरे लिए बहुत हर्ष की बात है कि नवरात्रि का शक्ति आराधन का 9 दिन का महोत्सव आज समाप्त हो रहा और मां के अलग अलग स्वरूपों का आराधना का आज समापन कर आहुति देने का दिन, और आज ही के दिन गोवा और कर्नाटक की इस सरहद पर मां सरस्वती की आराधना के लिए नेशनल फॉरेंसिक साइंस यूनिवर्सिटी के अंतर्गत एक कैंपस के भूमि पूजन का कार्यक्रम आज गोवा राज्य के अंदर हो रहा है। मित्रों, मैं सबसे पहले तो आज सबको एक बात कहना चाहता हूं। मैं पहले कभी बहुत गोवा नहीं आया, मगर जब पार्टी अध्यक्ष बना तब गोवा आने का, बार बार आने का मौका मिला। संगठन के काम से, सरकार के काम से, चुनाव के अंदर, और जब ऊपर से गोवा को देखते हैं तो महान परशुराम भगवान ने बनाया हुआ क्षेत्र बिल्कुल ऐसे दिखता है जैसे मां भारती के कपाल पर बिंदिया लगी हो, इतना खूबसूरत प्रदेश।
The Union Home Minister further expressed his happiness for the formation of the National Forensic Science University, its first college starting in Goa, and said that the NFSU's 5 courses will be starting from today. Shah's visit comes ahead of the assembly elections scheduled for next year. President Ramnath Kovind has arrived in the Union Territory of Ladakh today for celebrating the Dussehra with troops in Dras. He was welcomed by the Lieutenant Governor of Ladakh, R.K. Mathur, and upon his arrival, Mathur in his tweet stated that they welcome the President of India to the Union Territory of Ladakh. President Kovind is on a visit to Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir on October 14th and 15th to celebrate the Dussehra with troops in Dras. On October 14th, the President will perform Sindhu Darshan Puja at Sindhu Ghat, Leh. He will also interact with troops at Udhampur in the evening, and on the next day, the President will be paying tributes at the Kargil War Memorial in Dras and interact with officers and Jawans. Himachal Pradesh's Kinnaur district has fully vaccinated its entire eligible population, news agency ANI reported today. As per the administration, Kinnaur is the first district in the country to vaccinate its 100% eligible population. This feat was achieved on Wednesday. Kinnaur DC Abid Hussain Sadiq said that Kinnaur is the first district across the country to achieve this feat, and we have received our target of vaccinating all the eligible population. The administration had set a target to administer 2 doses of vaccines to 60,305 people. He added that health workers trekked through the mountains to vaccinate a sizable number of shepherds in the pasture land and also in the small dogris, which are the isolated houses in the orchards. Himachal Pradesh government had in August announced that it has met its 100% first dose vaccination target against COVID-19 for all above the age of 18. Former Jammu and Kashmir Deputy Chief Minister and senior BJP leader Kavinder Gupta on Wednesday said that the situation in Jammu and Kashmir has been constantly deteriorating and demanded action against those responsible for the environment. Gupta said action should be taken against those who are creating such environment for 70 years. This kind of atmosphere was created and there was the hoisting of Pakistan flags, stone pelting recently. All these things tell that people here want peace. His remarks come after targeted killings in Jammu and Kashmir by terrorists in the past few days. Speaking on the NIA raids in the Union Territory, the BJP leader said they have seen how Kashmiri bandits or Hindus have suffered in the past. It is clear that many are working in the valley as their assistant who give full support and information to them. And that this is the only reason NIA is conducting raids these days, so that these incidents can be stopped there.
पिछले दिनों जिस प्रकार से कश्मीरी पंडितों पर या हिंदुओं पर अत्याचार हुए और उनकी हत्या की गई, तो उससे साफ जाहिर होता है कि बहुत से ऐसे लोग आज भी घाटी में काम कर रहे हैं उनके इन्फॉर्मर्स बन करके, और उनको पूरी सूचना देते हैं, उनको पूरा रैकी के बाद बताते हैं कि कौन लोग कहाँ किस प्रकार का हादसा करना है। तो उसके लिए बड़ा ज़रूरी है कि इस प्रकार के इन्फॉर्मर्स को, इस प्रकार के एलिमेंट्स को जल्द से जल्द पकड़ा जाए, ताकि इस प्रकार की घटनाएं और ना हों। तो उसलिए ये ज़रूरी था कि जो NIA ने रेड्स किए हैं उनको बहुत सी जानकारियां भी मिली हैं, और ये पिछले दिनों दिल्ली में भी हुआ, उसके भी जो तार थे जम्मू कश्मीर के साथ जुड़े हुए थे। इन सब घटनाओं को कहीं ना कहीं तो संज्ञान लेना पड़ेगा। उसी का परिणाम है कि NIA ने इस प्रकार की रेड्स की।
Shiv Sena leader and Rajya Sabha MP Sanjay Raut on Thursday, while interacting with reporters, said that the process of burning one Ravana, that is petrol and diesel prices, will begin from tomorrow, that is Dussehra, and in the year 2024, the demon will be burnt completely. The process of burning the demon of petrol and diesel will start on the day of Dussehra and will burn one Ravana, and into 2024 it will be burnt completely, said Raut. Interestingly, both the National and Maharashtra Assembly polls are scheduled to take place in the year 2024. Meanwhile, petrol and diesel prices were hiked again across the country on Thursday after a pause of 2 days. In Mumbai, petrol prices were raised by rupees 0.34 paise and diesel by rupees 0.37 paise per litre. Oil companies started raising auto fuel prices last week. The pause on the prices on October 12 and 13 came after a 7-day consecutive rise. Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Chani arrived at former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh's farmhouse in Siswan, Mohali on Thursday. Meanwhile, Punjab Congress leader Navjot Singh Sidhu, who resigned as Punjab Unit Chief a few days ago, will meet Congress General Secretary K.C. Venugopal and Punjab in charge Harish Rawat today, October 14, in New Delhi. After the resignation as the President of the Punjab Pradesh Congress Committee, Sidhu will be having his first official meeting with the Congress Central leadership. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh delivered the inaugural address at a webinar on role of women in armed forces being organized by Shanghai Cooperation Organization on October 14. The international webinar in video conference mode is hosted by the Ministry of Defence. Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat delivered the welcome address. The representatives of the SCO member countries also share their experiences which enrich and inform policy makers and practitioners alike. The conference was originally planned with the physical presence of the representatives of the member states in the year 2020. However, owing to COVID-19 pandemic, it is now being conducted via video conferencing, as despite the pandemic, the interaction between the SCO member states remain important. The Government of India has recognized women as proud and essential members of the Indian Defence Forces and the potential they bring to the armed forces. Accordingly, in the last 7 years, the government has taken several steps to bring in more opportunities for women in the Indian Defence Forces as well as create equality in service conditions for women and men. Today, women are greatly empowered within the Indian Defence Forces, whether it is the Indian Army, Indian Navy or the Indian Air Force.
Comes at a time when a large number of women have successfully broken the glass ceiling in a variety of professional spheres. They have proved beyond a shadow of doubt that women can and have stood shoulder to shoulder with their counterparts, often surpassing their achievements. It is only appropriate that the armed forces, which have for long remained relatively male-centric, are finally making justified and long overdue space for their women counterparts within their ranks.
That's all for the news. I'm Esther. Keep watching Hornbill TV.